Hi everyone, welcome to Money Magnetism with Meera. I'm Meera, an aligned wealth coach. I teach you to create wealth from a place that is deeply, deeply connected to your purpose and dissolve through patterns that keep you stuck in your business. This is our first episode, Your Business Carries Transgenerational Patterns. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. Today, we talk about patterns I see all the time with my clients in my one-on-one and small group coaching containers and how to even identify if you're playing out transgenerational patterns through your business. Also, we talk about who deals with this the most and what the heck you can even do about this. So first, you're not alone. Anything you've done as a business owner, I promise I have lived through, probably with much less gracefulness than you did. I get into this all the time in my Telegram group, the Aligned Wealth Room. They get the behind the scenes and the real world nitty-gritty examples of how these patterns ripple through not just my own life, but my clients' lives, and we get so real about the tangible applications of this work, which I think is so important. So, one of the most common holding patterns I see with people is that they undercharge severely. And guess what? This is the fastest route to burnout. Think of equal exchange as a universal law. And when you don't charge your worth, you unintentionally put yourself in a place primed for a really unbalanced dynamic. And you start becoming a magnet to people who will reinforce your belief that you aren't worth more. And I am talking about your clients, the people you work with, the people you hire, the agencies you outsource your work to. And this sort of stays until you sit with the real why underneath this undercharging. For those of you who have worked one-on-one with me, you know constellations is a great way to determine your ideal rate. And it is the first exercise I do with most of my clients in my coaching container. In my experience, 95% of women are undercharging, but raising your rate isn't as simple as just slapping on a new number like a business or a financial coach would have you do. The rate you charge or the rate you choose is actually a reflection of what you feel safe receiving without your inner alarm system screaming out, danger, danger, danger. The rate you charge is often a reflection of what is unresolved between you and your mother. I always say in the field of inherited trauma, money is mommy. Our mothers nurture us and provide us with unconditional love as children. And as you go out into the world and become an adult, the world nurtures us and provides for us through what we are able to allow ourselves to receive financially. The second holding pattern I see the most is being the bottleneck of your own business, where growth and expansion stalls in your business because everything still has to run through you, and that's how you've designed it. Or eventually what happens with this is that the second you're dealing with a health issue or a sick child, your business crumbles, because when you are your own bottleneck, you aren't able to ebb and flow like a normal human being, right? There's not enough scaffolding holding your business together to withstand any change or any need for you to dip in and out of your business. And so really what you have is a job, not a business. And let's talk about this for a second, right? I think most of us get into business because we know deep within that there is a more expansive container for us than the traditional 9-to-5. We know that there is a product or a service that we're deeply passionate about and want to put out into the world. But entrepreneurship is self-development on steroids. Every time you hit a new ceiling, it's time for you to turn around and take a hard look at patterns and inner blocks that have to be shed for your business to be able to move up into the next level. Bottlenecking your own business is deeply, deeply personal. And so in a one-on-one or group container, we would delve into it more specifically. But it almost always makes me want to look at the relationship between your parents. Was your mom able to trust your dad? And were men in your family showing up as natural providers or protectors? If this is something you deal with, I want you to reflect a little on this. And here's another one, right? Feeling emotionally exhausted even after you've rested and developing a burnout so deep that you start noticing a cynicism creeping in toward your business that you used to love, toward your clients, toward the people around you. Being stuck in a state of overgiving for a prolonged period of time, and we talked about how you have to honor the balance between give and take when it comes to your rate or the way you work. And overgiving is really is really you not honoring that balance. Here's the kicker. At some point down the line, you will start repelling clients and your business will stall, because if you were meant to be the life force energy of your business, how can it sustain itself when you are absolutely depleting yourself intentionally and then become resentful toward any type of growth and expansion? Because growth and expansion, when you work in that state, is going to mean more burnout. It's going to mean more time away from things that you truly love, like maybe your kids or your hobbies or traveling. So what I'd ask here is, what did pleasure and joy look like for your mom and the women who came before her? Did it exist hand in hand with success? Or are you the first woman in your family who's attempting to create something different? Here's the fact. Inherited trauma or generational patterns, this is a well-established field. There is no doubt anymore that people repeat patterns that can be traced back to something unresolved in their family line. Without knowing it, and I have to emphasize that, the subconscious pattern by definition is the one that you play out without knowing it. Your business, as something you create, just like your children, carries the same kind of inherited, unconscious patterning that your family does. And so, who deals with this the most? The people who end up repeating these patterns the most are usually the black sheep of the family, believe it or not. The ones who are so sure they want to be different, to create a different life. The desire to be so much more different on a conscious level is actually what makes our nervous systems, our souls, cling on to this loyalty of trying to belong in some way to your family system. I will be just like you, mom or dad. I will stay loyal to you. I will stay belonging to you on a deeply subconscious level. I will follow you in your fate. We all know that business ownership, again, self-development on steroids. Most of us who chose this path aren't people who came from choosing easy things. There's something about running a business that breaks open the container you've been told that this is all you have to play with. You know, a lot of us refuse to believe that. That gives us a sense of how there is a possibility in the future of having freedom beyond your wildest dreams, having abundance beyond your wildest dreams. So a lot of us are dreamers. And we're also at the same time subconsciously drawn to this obviously harder path, because something in our past has given us this feeling that the mental resilience required to keep going as a business owner is familiar. We desire this ease and expansion that comes with owning a business, and subconsciously we are actually drawn to the hardships and exercising our resilience and proving ourselves and having that baseline in our nervous system as, you know, a little chaotic. And so what do you do with all of this? In my work as an aligned wealth coach, my talent with this work is identifying exactly where you do this in your business. My clients will tell you, we identify and pull out the block you're ready to let go of to expand, and that's only half the work. The other half is keeping you from springing back into old patterns when we reintroduce these new ones. The nervous system wants you to stay the same because this is the only proven way for your nervous system to keep you safe. But there are ways to work with this and reestablish new patterns, to disentangle your business from all the things you unknowingly carry, and to intentionally connect with the best parts of what you can take from your family system. Because trust me, there is so much good in there for all of us. Enough for us to let go of the lack and the survival and the struggle that we so inadvertently cling on to. And so if there is anything you can take from today, I would love for you to sit with a pattern that you've been stuck with in your business and just name it out loud. The solution for whatever you're dealing with in your business is rarely needing to push or hustle or work harder. It's usually much more simple. It usually, I want to say 99% of the time, is going back into the subconscious patterning and rewiring the way you operate, the way you think, the way you attract opportunities, the way you are so misaligned with your natural state and your natural design. And so this is what this show is for. Every week, I'll bring you real stories from clients who've lived this, conversations with people doing complementary work in business and the body, and my own breakdown of patterns that I see most often. If you've ever felt like you're working harder than results show, or like something invisible is keeping you capped or trapped, you are in the right place. Follow the show so you don't miss what's next. And I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.